Joining me on the line as he does every Friday on the show, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Reyes is here from CinemaBlend.com. You ready for the 4th of July weekend?
Oh, I am so ready, especially after watching Bill Pullman do that Budweiser ad. Yeah.
Wait, what? What Budweiser ad?
You haven't seen it? You haven't seen this?
Is it new?
Oh, okay. Yes, very quickly. A couple days ago, Budweiser posted an ad with Bill Pullman resurrecting President Whitmore from Independence Day. They don't mention him by name, but they just mention, former American president gives speech. And he does a slightly retweaked version of the Independence Day speech to sort of, call for unity and to sell Budweiser. It's fantastic. It's called Go Forth America.
All right, I'll see if I can find a video of it. I'll get it up on the website.
Also, happy 25th anniversary to Independence Day.
Is it really?
25 years to this day.
I can tell you the movie theater I saw that in.
I could too. You first.
Paramount 5, Ankeny, Iowa.
The Lowe's Brick Circle 5 in Bricktown, New Jersey, which is now an IHOP. Partially an IHOP.
Which, if people listening to this are hearing it, long story short, there was the movie theater had a video store in the middle of it that you had to walk through to get to the fifth theater.
That's awesome.
It was the weirdest thing ever, man. Like that last theater, you could so totally sneak into and nobody would ever know. But anyways.
Dude, the theater I went to for this, I remember my father and I went and saw Men in Black. Okay, so a couple of the movies we saw at this theater. Mars Attacks, Space Jam, Jumanji, Batman Forever, Men in Black, Face Off. We snuck into Face Off after seeing Men in Black.
Oh, God.
Because the thing was, it was 5 different theaters. It was a 5 theater, but the first 3 were in like an open area, which was like it was open concept, no walls. They had the snack bar right in the center. And then like the last 2 were off in like their own sort of rooms, and there was like dividers, and basically it was easier to sneak into those 2. So we got to see both of those movies. I read both novelizations. It was fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome. By the way, side note, I just did a search for Paramount 5 Theater in Ankeny, and there's a website called cinematreasures.org.
Yes! I love that site. They've got all the old theater like ads and then photos of the old theaters. I live on that site from time to time because I miss the Lowe's theaters days.
Yes.
Nothing against AMC, but I miss having my local Lowe's. I just found a YouTube channel that has like the policy trailers that tell you, please no smoking, and like the old Muppets one we used to do at Lowe's. People have started scanning those from the 35 millimeters, and I just found like an old Lowe's logo bumper.
That's
that
awesome.
Like is a nostalgia trip.
That's awesome. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me on the line as we dive deep into nostalgia here. New movies this week. The Chris Pratt one is out. The Tomorrow War. You didn't dig this, right? I guess not.
So, quick rundown on the Tomorrow War before I massacre it. It's a movie about military vet / science teacher played by Chris Pratt, who's drafted into a war 30 years in the future because alien invaders are wrecking our shit up, blah, 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 blah. This movie's boring. This movie has time travel, aliens, and explosions, and it's boring. And I was not a fan, especially when you've got people like J.K. Simmons and Sam Richardson in this movie, and you waste them. Like, you waste a good supporting cast.
That's amazing to me that you can have that cast and it be that bad of a movie.
Yeah. And, this one went straight to streaming because Paramount was, shuffling some movies here and there to decide what they wanted to send to theaters and what they thought should go to streaming. And, Quiet Place 2 goes to theaters and Tomorrow War goes to streaming, and I was disappointed with both, but, at least Quiet Place 2 was kind of interesting.
Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me on the line. What's the next movie? The Fear Street stuff on Netflix, right?
Yeah. Speaking of deep dives into nostalgia, we have got the first of a trilogy of Fear Street movies coming out this week on Netflix. Fear Street Part 1, 1994.
And not made for kids, right?
Oh, no. This is a PG-rated book series that was made into an R-rated slasher trilogy. And I am absolutely in love with this. I read the books as a kid because they're R.L. Stine books, the guy who wrote Goosebumps wrote these too. And at the age that I am at, I was perfectly positioned that when I started weaning off of Goosebumps, I just went straight into Fear Street. And I love the book. the movie, this first one, I can only talk about the first one because they're sort of timed one a week.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to take this journey weekly, us
Okay.
and the fans. Part one is a hell of an opener.
Is it really? Like, let me ask you this. If that one's so good, they're all going to come out over 3 weeks, right?
Yep. This week is part one, 1994. Next week is part two, 1978. And then July 16th is part three, 1666.
Okay, so would it almost be worth it to wait until they're all out and watch them all at once? Okay.
I really liked watching all of them. The way I did it was I had the first two.
Yeah.
I got to watch all three as part of like the junket that we did.
Okay.
So they sent out the first two at the same time, and then the third one they sent later. So you can wait and watch all three if you want. I mean, I still want to actually watch all three in one shot because it's just I want to see all the seams and connect all the pieces.
Yeah.
But no matter how you watch it, this first movie is amazing.
Okay,
like
cool.
It's very much based off of 90s slashers. Your movie opens with a B. Dalton sequence in a mall, and the first needle drop of the film is 9 Inch Nails Closer. I don't think I need to tell you any more to sell you on this movie.
Perfect. I like it. And that's on Netflix, right?
Yes, sir. And it's currently on Netflix.
Awesome. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me to talk about movies. Now we go over to the world of Werewolf, correct?
Yes. A movie that I forgot last week theatrically, but is coming out this week on VOD, is director Josh Rubin's Werewolves Within, which, believe it or not, is a video game adaptation.
Oh, cool.
See, I didn't know there was a game called Werewolves Within. It's a Ubisoft game that is, it's basically a VR version of Mafia, where, there's a killer in the group. You have to eliminate suspects and guess who did it. It's kind of like a worthy successor to the sort of Knives Out / Clue sort of genre, where you've got Sam Richardson playing like a park ranger that's in this secluded mountain town, and there's a lot of motives for murder flying around, and people start disappearing. There may or may not be werewolves, and it's just a very not a slick, but it's just a very well put together comedy. It's like very quick, and they do not waste any time. It's just a lot of fun.
Which, in the world of adapting a video game, doesn't happen a lot, right?
No, especially when this is basically an open concept game where it's like, okay, the game of Mafia. You could pretty much do any whodunit, and I guess slap that branding on it. But it's really cool because, since it doesn't have that story that it has to be beholden to, people who play the game can very easily just go watch the movie and say, oh, yeah, that's like a game of Werewolves Within. Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
Like, that's one of the coolest examples of using a game or using an impossible title to adapt and playing it to your advantage.
Gotcha. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me to talk about movies. As we wrap up the movie reviews this week, I want to skip the movie news because I want to ask you a question, put you on the spot real quick.
Ooh, okay.
So as we dive into the July 4th weekend, Mike Reyes, what is the most patriotic movie you've ever seen?
Well, I'm glad you asked this. This is good. I mean, one of the movies that I think of when I think patriotism is Air Force One.
Yes.
Like, if you really want to go with like...
Get off my plane!
Yes. If you want to go with like movie-style patriotism, that's definitely one.
Okay.
In its own way, The Rocketeer is kind of a patriotic movie.
Yeah, because they fight Nazis.
That, and just, you happen to have this hero. There's that hero shot of the Rocketeer standing by the American flag and he takes off. And that's just that's fireworks to me. And speaking of fireworks, one of my favorite 4th of July scenes comes from The Sandlot when they're all watching the fireworks and Ray Charles' America the Beautiful is playing.
Yeah.
That is just, I don't care when you grew up, that is still the epitome of growing up during the 4th of July and just watching those fireworks, and how that summer night feels, and you're waiting for either ice cream or s'mores, and it's a beautiful feeling.
It is. I'm going to throw out...
How about you?
I was going to throw out, you already mentioned it, Independence Day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Independence Day, definitely. And the best thing about that movie and its patriotism is you get the Whitmore speech in there that idea is just expanded to the world because he's like, if we pull this off, the 4th of July, I'm inviting everyone to celebrate 4th of July.
It's no longer an American holiday.
I am going to memorize that speech one day, I swear. I still have part of it memorized in my head. Because when I was watching that ad, I'm just sitting there and I'm like quoting it along, and it's like, oh, am I getting teary-eyed? Is this happening?
That's so great. Mike Reyes from CinemaBlend.com joining me to talk about movies. Mike, we'll end it there. You have yourself a great 4th of July weekend, all right, man?
Happy 4th of July.